spent close to 25 years working in various roles and various sectors as well, right? What are some of your top experiences that have shaped your approach to business and leadership today?
This is actually my 25th year running. So, through this
Congratulations on
podcast, my best wishes, yeah, thank you. My best wishes to all my batchmates from every stream who graduated in 98 and started working. So, 98 to 23, it's a long journey, 25 years of working in the field in various locations, various situations. So, yes, that has been a long journey, very fruitful, very enjoying, full of challenges, trials, tribulations, success, happiness, sorrow, everything. 25 years is a long enough time to enjoy or to go through every emotion possible. What I think some of the important features or some of the important points which would have shaped or which I wish to share with people in general. See, in the beginning, you have to learn everything. You cannot be choosy. You cannot be saying that this is not my job. I would not do this job. Well, even when I started working, the computers were very far and few in between. So lots of our work was manual. We used to write letters. We used to write memos and whatnot. In fact, I don't know if many of today's generation would even relate with writing telex, sending fax, getting message on the pager. We have been through all these things. So we have seen that technology changing in our hand, right from nothing to pager to mobile phones, and then to life 24 hours, 24 by 7 with the gadgets. So right from just a mobile phone to GPRS to 3G.
the luxury segment has boomed like crazy in the last 2 3 years in India with growing disposable incomes and varied interests. But the luxury bikes industry and a Ducati is a different beast altogether. So, how has Ducati been able to maintain and build the high standards of quality and performance for a century now? How Ducati builds technology? What does it mean to lead a highly reputed brand like Ducati? Today, we are talking to Bipul Chandra. He is an automobile veteran and one of the top voices in this space. He is the MD of Ducati India. Let's jump right into the discussion and listen till the end and let me know what you agree or disagree with. Hey, people, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So, I want to probably set up the first 5 10 minutes as a masterclass on building and leading in a luxury segment. है ना? Could you walk us through the process and mindset of creating a luxury two wheeler that upholds the brand value of Ducati?
That's a very interesting question, actually. And see, for Ducati, I would say we have got four brand pillars: style, sophistication, performance, and trust. So, whenever we talk about anything with respect to Ducati, we need to keep these four pillars in mind. And that's how our entire lives are revolving around these four pillars. So, style, I'm sure you will agree that being an Italian brand, there is no dearth of style. So we definitely make one of the most beautiful, cool looking kind of automobiles and bikes in particular. So that's always there. Sophistication is something which I believe how we uh, manage, how we build relationships, how we keep on investing in the relationship with our riders, our community, everything. So the way we handle all those situations. Performance, I think Ducati needs no introduction as far as performance is needed. We are definitely on the top of this game. And trust is something which we have gained over these many years. In fact, uh, in very recent future, we shall be completing 100 years of the existence of Ducati. So I think these four pillars are the core brand values through which our lives evolve. And on the basis of these things, we have our relationship with our riders, which we lovingly call Ducati's team. And then one very important part is you have to actually live like them. It is not that you have to be very luxurious. That's not the idea. You have to feel like a rider. So whenever we talk, We talk in a way that we are always on the same platform. We understand what a rider is trying to convey to us. We understand what kind of feedback he is trying to give to us. We understand what he feels when he is riding through those moments, whether on the track or whether on a off-roading section, or whether he is simply doing a touring kind of riding. So this is the kind of mutual connect we have with our riders, and that's being on the same platform as our riders, understanding them very clearly, uh, understanding the subtle hints and the nuances what a rider wishes to give to us. That is probably, I believe, is one of the very important factor of having a very successful luxury brand out there in the market. In our business, in our life, the our riders, our Ducatisti, probably they would not convey everything in a verbal way. So we have to understand the non-verbal cues. If they simply say that, well, at that turn, the bike was not confident enough. So you need to understand what turn he is talking about and what his feelings would be regarding the bike not being so confident. Or if he says, at that turn, the bike was supremely best, let us use that kind of superlative words. So if he says something like that, you need to understand what kind of feeling he would be getting. So this is something we need to understand. We need to behave in that certain fashion, and I believe that is how we have a very successful relationship with our riders, which have been continuing for so many years, and I presume, I wish that it will keep on continuing and getting stronger over the years, in the years to come in the future.
I think over time, what I've realized is that most of the brands that have lasted as long as say Ducati has, which is almost 100 years now, have a massive customer obsession funda behind running behind the scene, right? Running in their genes and running in their entire teams. But he also mentioned that there are tons and tons of bikes that you guys produce. You talked about cruising a bit. You talked about off-roading. What are the kind of bikes that Ducati produces today?
Okay, so I will give the answer in a moment. You use the word customer obsession. So our obsession has gone to a level that we no longer call our riders as customers, because it becomes, or it has become too transactional. So for us, our riders are like our families. So we rather love to call them as our riders, our clients, our Ducatisti, but nothing like a customer, because then it's a very transactional kind of relationship you have with your family members. So moving forth, Ducati is one of those companies wherein we have our bikes almost in every segment. There are a couple of segments which we don't have, or we may have in future. See, we are an engineering company, I love to say that way, so I never say no to any kind of business proposition. So as of today, if I start from my bike build up in India, and I'm very happy to say whatever bike we build and sell globally, that we sell in India as well. As far as the, if the homologation is getting approved, we will sell that bike in India as well. So we start our range in India from our retro classic bikes called the Scrambler family, Scrambler Ducati. From then we move on to nakeds, that is Monster. From then we have another naked, that is Street Fighter V2. Then we have a super naked Street Fighter V4. We have a uh, dual bike in multi V2. We have a dual bike in multi V4. Then we have a sports tourer, super sport. Then we have a super bike called Panigale V2 and Panigale V4. And we have a cruiser, Diavel and XTR. So we have lots of bike, whatever you can think of, we are there in that segment. So whether it is a dual, whether it is super bike, whether it is, and I missed our latest offering, Desert X, which is in the off-roading category. So whether you have off-roading, whether you have retro, whether you have naked, super naked, fair, super bikes, you think of the category and we are there.
And what
So
are the
we are one of the rare companies which have presence in almost every segment.
and what are the kind of price ranges for this bike? Because Ducatis are also said to have produced some of the most expensive bikes as well. What would be the price ranges for these bikes?
Yes. See, as of today, our price starts almost from a million of rupees, about 10 lakh rupees. And then currently, the bikes which we have in India at present, the bike price goes up to 45 to 50 lakh rupees ex showroom. However, we will be getting a couple of bikes in the second half of the year, which will be costing you almost about 70 to 80 lakh rupees. And our costliest bike till date has been sold at about 1.25 CR. So that is the range of bikes we make, almost from a million to uh, 10 million kind of ex-showroom prices.
So I've not never been a bike rider, I would say. I would have loved to be, but unfortunately never got the chance to. But I want to get into the probably psychology of someone who's buying such an expensive bike. What drives people? What do you think drives people into buying Ducatis of the world? And then because these bikes are like crazy expensive, you get the most expensive cars in the similar ranges, right? So what's the psychology behind someone who's trying to get a Ducati today?
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to understand basically okay,
Okay.
what's the
So
psychology of the
first of
yeah.
all, yeah. First of all, Pritesh, there is never too late for anything. So you are always welcome to come to our some of our riding events, and you can always enjoy riding. And this is something it's like once you start riding, you can never let go of it. So either you are there into riding or you are not there into riding. There cannot be any midway. Well, I love riding, but I know you know. So there is nothing like that. Either you are there or you're not there. So yes, I would invite you to join us on some of the events, and I'm sure you are going to fall madly in love with riding. That's something very, very potent medication for anything, I would say. And coming back to why people go into riding, see, there are two lines I would speak as far as this is concerned. First, this I will love to say in these many words. See, for a normal commuter bike, a bike is a bike. It is an automobile or a machine which you use to move from point A to point B. But when you talk about bikes like Ducatis, they are no longer a bike or a motorcycle or a machine. That's it. They are, as we were discussing, the kind of bikes we have. So they are like nakeds, they are like super bikes, they are like dual bikes, they are like retros, something of that nature. So the riders, they everyone has a different riding style, and the riders, they love to have their bikes as per their riding styles and likings. So it is not that I'll go to the Ducati showroom and I'll buy any bike. No, it does not happen that way. So if I have my interest, let us say in a track riding, if I enjoy that kind of speed, if I enjoy that kind of environment, then I'm sure I'll be buying, let us say, a Panigale. However, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. However, if I'm an outdoor person, I love to go to the touring kind of thing. I like to, let us say, I love to go and enjoy the ridings up to Leh, Ladakh, or Spiti, or Tawang Valley, or something of that nature, or go towards Coorg in the south, or have a ride between, let us say, Bangalore to Goa kind of thing. In that case, most likely I shall be willing to buy a multi-strada kind of thing. Again, I enjoy my bike riding too much, and probably I would never let go of the bike. And but I like a bike which is very easy to handle even during the city traffic. So probably I would love to get a scrambler or a monster. So it all depends on the liking and riding style of the person concerned, and then he wishes to decide which bike to be purchased. And that's how, and rather not that's how, probably that's why it becomes very important for us to extend the test drive to our potential riders in the right frame of situation, in the right environment. So many times what happens, many people who wish to buy a Panigale, but they are not very sure of the riding, we provide them the test drive or test ride, as we say, at the track. For example, Buddha Circuit in the Delhi, or a Chennai track in down south, so that the person concerned, he can understand whether he is comfortable with this kind of riding style or not, whether he is comfortable with this kind of biking or not. Many times we allow some of the potential riders to join us on the long term ridings. Let us say we are going up to Spiti or somewhere other. So the people can join us there, and then they know whether this kind of riding is enjoyable for them or not. And that's how we let the riders decide which bike is suitable for them, rather than we pressurizing them into buying something which we feel is good for them. That's not the idea. So we never sell any bike as such. We love to get into a discussion, we love to get into a mutually agreeable idea about which bike is the best suitable fit for the rider concerned.
Understood. I think from the little bit research that I happen to do, I realized that what you're saying. I happen to come up on multiple articles on the same, that most of the Ducatis, they ride very differently, and they would depend upon the use case, and they would have a very different. You would have a very different experience riding different bikes. That's what I have also come to realize. But I want to come back a little to your experience. You have spent close to 25 years working in various roles and various sectors as well, right? What are some of your top experiences that have shaped your approach to business and leadership today?
This is actually my 25th year running. So, through this
Congratulations, man.
podcast, my best wishes. Yeah, thank you. My best wishes to all my batchmates from every stream who graduated in 98 and started working. So 98 to 23, it's a long journey, 25 years of working in the field in various locations, various situations. So yes, that has been a long journey, very fruitful, very enjoying, full of challenges, trials, tribulations, success, happiness, sorrow, everything. 25 years is a long enough time to enjoy or to go through every emotion possible. What I think some of the important features or some of the important points which would have shaped or which I wish to share with people in general. See, in the beginning, you have to learn everything. You cannot be choosy. You cannot be saying that this is not my job. I would not do this job. Well, even when I started working, the computers were very far and few in between. So lots of our work was manual. We used to write letters, we used to write memos and whatnot. In fact, I don't know if many of today's generation would even relate with writing telex, sending fax, getting message on the pager. We have been through all these things. So we have seen that technology changing in our hand, right from nothing to pager to mobile phones, and then to life 24 hours, 24 by 7 with the gadgets. So right from just a mobile phone to GPRS to 3G, 4G, whatnot. We have seen everything, I would say. That way, probably our generation is very lucky to have seen everything. So I think you need to learn everything, whatever comes in your way. That is a very, very basic requirement of sustaining in the market for a longer run. Because at the later stage of the career, probably you will not have the freedom or the time to learn many basic things which you could have learned. So without feeling that this may not be my job, you have to have a very positive approach about learning things. Then again, one probably in my career, I would say one very important thing which has helped me is accepting uh, challenges by way of transfers. So I have lived in many cities of the country. In fact, I think I would have been transferred till now. I would have been transferred almost 16, 17 times in my career. And I think that's a very important part because then I got the opportunity and chance to live in various cities of the country. I got to know the culture. I would not say I can speak many languages because I never tried to learn them. But yes, I got to listen to
Mhm.
people talking in their local vernacular languages, and probably that was a very new thing for me. I got to see so many cultures. I have traveled extensively across the country because of the job, and it's not only me, but many people like me in my kind of profile, they would have done the same thing. And I think this is why many of these people are successful today, because they embraced these challenges with open mind. So it was never the idea, I will not go to that location, I will not take the transfer, I have a family problem, my wife has a job, my kid is studying. Somewhere or the other, you need to embrace these things with a very open mind. You need to take up these challenges with a very open mind. And later on, you get to understand that, well, I did the right thing. So my probably my average was 1.5 years in a city. Every 1.5, 2 years, I used to get transferred. I think it is only after almost 17, 18 years, I started living in a city where I could complete 3 uninterrupted years in the same city.
And which city was that?
This is Gurgaon now, after 2016.
Okay.
Even, in fact, no, not after 2016. It is after 2019, I would say that I could spend in Gurgaon 3 uninterrupted years. I have been working since 98, and probably either it was 3 years at a stretch, I don't think.
And
So
the
it
world
is
has
only since 2019 that I have been living in Gurgaon without any interruption now. So you can understand, after 21 years of service, I got to live 3 straight years in a city. And I think that's a big testimony for many people like me who would have done the same thing. So it is not about listening to your bosses, but it is about embracing that challenge that, yes, I can.
I think learning remains a common thread across ages and across generations. Since we're talking about technology, can you discuss the role of technology and innovation in the development of Ducati bikes, right, motorcycles, and how these factors contribute to the brand's success? Because there is a lot of technology in Ducati. That's something that I can tell right from the outset.
Yes. See, for us, technology is probably one of the uh, basic minimum, or I would say hygiene factors. Without technology, there cannot be Ducati. And we try to give the latest, the best kind of technology to our riders. Uh, it's a common fact, common knowledge that most of our technologies, first we try at the MotoGP level, which is the most extreme form of tech uses. And afterwards, we try to give the same thing to our riders in general, to a larger population who wish to enjoy their riding, enjoy their bikes, but probably they are not at that competitive or the pro level kind of thing. So that definitely calls for a team full of engineers, R&D team, and who are not only very solid on the tech side, but very imaginative, very creative to think of something which probably may not be passing across normal people like you and me, but they can think of, well, okay, this is something which can be utilized probably, let's say, in 2 3 4 years time, 5 years time. And imagining those things, putting them into real machines, and then finally bringing down that technology to the normal rider at the mass level. So I think this proliferation of technology from the most pro level to the mass level at our organization or any of these big bikes, I think that is something very important, and we are there. We have used so many technologies in our bikes. There are so many technologies that normal people can't even think of. So I think this will become too technical if I start talking about what we have. But uh, uh, I can tell you that this is something which we take immense pride on keeping our bikes full of tech. We have immense pride on our team of engineers, and it is definitely a matter of achievement, a sense of achievement, that we have been able to bring down those very high end tech from the pro level to the rider level at the market. So I think it's a very serious and a good work from our side.
People, I remember you saying that probably Ducati as a bike has more technology per square inch than any other automobile or any other engine out there today, right?
Yes.
Because obviously space constraints. I would want to understand, like, because so for someone like me, someone very naive like me, we don't typically understand the technology. That probably what we understand is the outcome of the technology, that we are okay, we enjoy what's there, right? But we don't exactly understand what's going into it, right? Can you like go a little deeper? Maybe it might be a little technical, but yeah.
See, when I talk of per square inch, see, in a four wheeler, when you talk of a four wheeler giving you lots of tech, then they have the luxury of space. You have a larger body, a larger chassis, you have a larger cab, and you can put in so many things. If we talk of the screen on the dashboard, you have a large dashboard wherein you can have a screen from a couple of inches to couple of feet also. So you can have a screen worth, let us say, 4 or 5 inches, and you can have a screen in front of the driver, let us say, of 2 feet. And today, in high-end cars, the 2 feet kind of screens are becoming norm. You have all the whatnot kind of information available at your fingertips. They have become touch screen, and they have really gone very high tech. However, for us in the two-wheeler world, the area available is very, very limited. So now you think uh, a mid-size luxury car, I would say, let's not name any brand or any model, but a mid-size luxury car having a 180, 190, 200 HP kind of power delivery becomes a real big engine. And for that, you require a lot many space in the under the hood. For me, in my multi-strada, there is the same 170 bhp engine. For my Panigale, there is a 208 bhp engine within the same confines of a motorcycle. Now you can understand when I say that probably my bike has got more tech per square inch because we have a real scarcity of space, and we have to have everything within that space itself. So the innovation is not putting in something. The innovation is also into putting the same kind of tech within that given area.
Mhm.
So a bike also has an ABS and a car also has an ABS. But you need to maintain everything within the similar kind of space what we have in the bikes. And that's why our job becomes much more challenging than any other automobile, I would say.
I think that's interesting, but I would want to understand some insights on the unique aspects of the luxury car and the bike sales industry, right? And what are the kind of strategies that are employed to engage and attract customers in this in this niche market?
Come again, I missed the first part.
I wanted to understand some insights on the unique aspects of luxury car bike sales industry, and what are the kind of strategies that are there to engage and attract the customers in this
Some
market, in this
insights
niche,
on which aspect?
on the unique aspects of the whole luxury
No, no,
segment, right?
Pritesh, I'm missing. Okay, okay.
Okay.
See, when we talk of unique aspect of luxury market, again, it is not about selling something which is very costly. When we talk of the unique aspect, it is about experiences of selling that thing. So, when we talk of the bikes in our segment, it is how our riders enjoy their bikes in the right perspective, in the right environment. So, for a bike like Panigale family, the Panigale is not something which can just be ridden on any road. It definitely requires a proper racetrack kind of setting. Now, India has a very limited racetrack kind of thing. In fact, we got just one real MotoGP kind of or F1 kind of track here in Greater Noida. So,
Mhm.
what we do, if our riders they have to enjoy the riding in the real perspective, where would they go? So we organize something called the Ducati Ride Experience Track Days, wherein we keep on taking the riders to overseas location as well. So, like last year,
Okay.
we had gone to Bira and Chang Circuit in Thailand. This year, we are going to Sepang, and most likely, some of the riders they may even go to Phillip Island in Australia in later part of the year. Again, for a multistrada kind of bike or a multistrada scrambler, these kind of bikes, if a rider has to enjoy a long touring kind of thing, uh, probably having a single riding, a solo riding can be daunting for many of the riders. So what do we do from Ducati India side? We plan DRE Dream Tours, wherein we curate the tours and we take the riders to various exotic locations. Uh, Till now, we have gone to Spiti, Leh Ladakh, Rajasthan, to Northeast Tawang. In South also, we have gone to very many locations. So this is how we curate the rides for our riders, so that they can enjoy the bikes in the right environment. Again, probably every rider does not know everything or every riding style. So we organize, let us say, to put it very lightly, we organize classes for them. So for example, if you wish to ride, if you wish to know how to ride an off-road biking, then probably we have classes for them. We actually tell them how to ride in various situations and circumstances. Very basic things like how to lift a fallen bike, what to
Mhm.
do if you get stuck in certain situations. So this is how we make the entire experience of riding very enjoyable, very what you can say, uh, important for the riders entire riding style and riding life as such, so that it does not become monotonous, that it's just a bike and I need to take the bike and I need to start riding. No, it you our endeavor is to ensure that the bike and the rider, they start feeling as one. And that's something which will come only if you are in with the right group, in the right frame of mind, within the right kind of riding environment. So this is what we provide to our riders, and probably this is where Ducati is different from many other brands.
That's interesting. That is something that I'm hearing for the first time. And those kind of customer experience stories are probably not so common in a lot of industries today. I think that is a very rare customer experience story. But yeah, there was a pandemic 2 3 years back that impacted the entire industry, not just Ducati, not just luxury bikes. But how did that impact your business and the luxury bike business in general?
In fact, I would say a pandemic had a very different kind of outcome for most of the luxury automobile companies. Uh, when the pandemic hit all of us, it was definitely a case of the entire country going shut. Our businesses were definitely shut, and that was the time when we had the BS4 to BS6 transition as well. So it was definitely a very tougher period for all of us across the industry, I would say. Why only Ducati? However, when we started opening, the country started opening, then probably the feeling within the riders community was, let us not waste even a single day now. So for us, the market opened up very well. The riders started coming to us in a big way, and we had a pretty good riding season. We had a pretty good selling season, I would say. In fact, even till today, some of our bikes are on waiting period, if not all, which was definitely the case till a couple of months ago, that almost every bike was on a waiting period. We were
Mhm.
also having certain issues with the logistics part, with the chip issue, with the supply ships, everything. So there was a very huge demand, and there was a supply chain issue. So that the waiting period was quite high. Now we have also tried to work from our side, so we have made the supply chains, logistics much smoother, and the customers are also now in a way that the demand has got rationalized. So I would say that the reaction from the riders was very good. The reaction from the market was actually overwhelming, and probably the thought process that let me enjoy my time till the time I can, it was all pervasive. So I
Mhm.
understand, going by the numbers also for the automobile industry, I would say for luxury four wheeler or two wheeler, probably last 2 3 years have been very good, and Ducati is no exception into that. So we have had some far better period in past, in recent past.
I think the like I said, let me live while we can. That has impacted a lot of industries that have given a
Yes.
lot of boost to tourism also in the last few years post pandemic, and I think it's interesting to see that it had a major impact in the luxury segment itself. And you don't come from a say tech background as such, right? You don't come from a say technical skill sets that probably, I don't know, that a lot of technology goes into Ducati, right? But you have been in leadership position in multiple companies where technology and R&D played a huge role. How did you mold yourself into these roles, and what are the important points that are there in your playbook?
See, I don't come from a theoretical tech background. That's correct. So that you can say. However, I definitely come from a science background. So I have a natural affinity to understand the scientific terms. I have a natural affinity to understand what is being said in terms of the technology for the bike or for the car. So and it's a matter of personal interest as well. I love riding. So whether I have been with a four-wheeler company or a two-wheeler company, I enjoyed my riding days. In fact, I after joining Ducati, I started riding on track. I started riding on roads. So I have done till now. I have already done almost because I will say Buddha circuit is almost a MotoGP track. So Buddha circuit, I have done Chang, I have done Misano. So I have already done almost three MotoGP tracks. I have done Spiti. So this is something which, because of my affinity towards riding, I did all these things. And the same thing goes for technology. So as I can understand what is being said or what has been written, so I try to learn those things. I spend my time. Even today I spend some time in learning new things on almost on a daily basis, whether it is through my colleagues, through my company training programs, or through YouTube videos. From wherever I can, I try to understand and learn the tech part. So I may not be an expert, I may not take up tools and start building an engine in the workshop, but at least I know that okay, what kind of part an engine component may play, or what kind of part certain features of the bike may play, or how to handle those parts, or how to handle those technologies. So something or the other. Well, you have very rightly said, I don't come from a theoretically tech background, and probably I cannot handle those techs in the biggest way possible. But okay, I know as much that I can take care of my day-to-day life.
Hmm. And you have been a career salesperson, right? With 25 years of almost 25 years of experience now. What would be your key top five learnings, takeaways from 20 plus years of business and 25 years of in general business and leadership today? Yeah.
Difficult to say top five. Never thought that way. But yes, some of the things, as I said in the very beginning, that first you have to approach a problem in a very scientific way. You you cannot say that I will not try to learn this thing, or I will not try to do that job kind of thing. So once you approach any situation with an open mind, it gives you a natural edge to go up to the bottom of the situation. So those things, why, what, when, how, that kind of theoretical and good to hear kind of information, the internet gyan, but that is very relevant. At least in the beginning of your career, you have to understand these things. You have to go to the bottom of the situation. Uh, I'm a very keen follower of the Japanese thought process of Jemba, that go to the actual site. So, unless you understand what the situation is, probably you may not be in a situation to have a very correct or a very thoughtful decision or the outcome. So, you have to understand the things in the right perspective. Why someone is saying something, or why some action has taken place in that way. Then another thing which I understand is very important in today's time is to have a very good interpersonal skill and a very good human relationship bonding kind of thing. So while it becomes important that you should be very transparent in your discussions, dealings, transactions, whatever, but then it is also very important to understand how the other person might react, because you see, your words are like knives; they can cut. So you need to be very clear in your mind what words to use, when to use. It is very important to know when not to speak anything, which people actually miss. People love to hear their own voice, which I think is a misnomer in today's corporate world. You should actually know when not to speak, and then you should start speaking. That okay, not for the sake of speaking, you should speak in every meeting. So probably these are some of the things. Again, difficult to count five things, but uh, going to the bottom of the situation, understanding what your thought process, the impact of your thought process or your decision on other person, or understanding two, three probable outcomes of your decision, uh, thinking before speaking. As you said, not coming from tech background, but learning the things without any inhibition that whom I am learning from, not having that kind of inhibition. So these are some of the things I think are very important. And probably now, after handling this company, after actually sitting in the leadership position, I think it is very important to understand that company's money is your money. You cannot just throw the money. So it becomes important. And once you are into that thought process that, well, uh, what my actions can have on my revenue, what my actions can have on my bottom line, then probably the life becomes much more easier.
Hmm. I think I want to understand more about the challenges, about the obstacles that you have faced in the last many years, and any personal experiences, any stories that you would like to share that have shaped you into this leadership position today.
Well, challenges are very many and difficult to quantify them through this discussion. But I would say that one very important learning which I got from a couple of my previous companies, which would have shaped me in a way. And again, I'm happy to say that having a human angle to entire business perspective is something which I learned from some of my previous companies, and that is very important. You cannot be a good manager if you're not a good human being. That is one very important learning I have. And there were many challenges where I could feel that either someone in the company was not being a good human being, and that created concerns or challenges for many people. Again, as I said, not possible to quantify or share those stories right now. But yes, I think this is one learning from my various companies, which I have seen that any company which has a very loyal workforce, which has a very you can say nice brand image in the market or whatever that way, the company has to be a human first and a business entity later.
Hmm. I think on that note, I want to understand if there are any upcoming projects, any upcoming events, or anything that Ducati has that you would like to highlight today, or that you would like to highlight for our audiences.
Well, Pritesh, Ducati, we keep on launching new bikes. That's a habit for us.
Mhm.
In fact, every first working day of the calendar year, we
Mhm.
issue a media press note wherein we give the probable timelines for all the bikes to be launched that year. This year, in fact, we started something which was for the first time in the industry, that we gave tentative prices also. In auto world, the prices are some of the most closely guarded secrets till the launch of the bike or the car. But we gave our riders, our Ducatisti or the prospective Ducatisti, a way out in taking their decisions in a more informed way. And we gave the prices, tentative prices as well, that these might be the prices of your upcoming bikes. So this is something which we have. So for this year, we still have Multistrada V4 Rally, Panigale V4R, Street Fighter V4 Lamborghini, Diavel V4, and the Scrambler second generation. All these bikes still pending for the launch in this year. So these bikes are there. Then we have a couple of activities and events which shall be pending, and we all are awaiting the uh, MotoGP Bharat. So that's very
Mhm.
important project for us. We all are waiting for the event to happen, and yes, we all are very very excited about the India the leg of MotoGP. So let's see. Yes.
And do you
So
want to share a little bit?
that's our pardon.
Do you want to share a little bit more on the MotoGP Bharat piece that's coming up?
Actually, I cannot share much on that side because we are one of the competitors in MotoGP
Mm-hmm.
and not the organizers.
Mm-hmm.
So we are also waiting for the right kind of information and input to come to us. As and when we get something, which we will definitely, we would love to take part in the MotoGP Bharat. Let's see. We are also waiting for the organizers to all the people to come to us and then discuss how to take things forward. But I'm sure this should happen in India, and if it happens, we shall definitely be there.
Yep, yep. Love to see that. I think one last bit that I wanted to understand, people, is that I found it amusing actually that that is something that I've experienced myself also. That the fact that is mentioned that prices are prices are probably one of the most well guarded stuff in information in the automobile space. That is something that I have experienced personally as well. I want to understand probably why. What kind of logic goes into it? I can understand that businesses have their own set of principles and own set of priorities that are well defined over a period of time. But the why would be interesting.
Why we gave the prices in the beginning of the year? Is that the question?
At the end of during launch or just towards the end, and why not reveal prices right in the beginning maybe?
Yeah, yeah. See, in today's time, you cannot stop the flow of the information. And what happens? We launch, especially in the case of Ducati or any such MNC, uh, we launch the bikes across the world in different markets at different timelines. So usually for India, I
Mm.
would say there is a gap of about 6 months from the time of the launch in European market to Indian market. By the time the information definitely flow to the Indian riders, they can get all the ride reviews, the bike reviews, everything on the YouTube. They have the access to Ducati sites of various countries, wherein we have our prices, so they know what would be the tentative price or what is the price of a bike, let us say in Italy, and
Mhm.
basis that they can have an idea about the tentative pricing of the same bike in India.
Mhm.
Now the point is, I have two options. Either I can make them keep guessing the price till the end of the launch, or I can give them a much better tentative price, which can allow them to plan their purchase actually in a better way, in a much more informed way, a much more scientific way. So let us say a rider is thinking of buying a bike and his budget is 25 lakh rupees. He has set his sights on certain bike. I He waits for that bike for next 6 to 9 months, and then I launch the bike at, let us say, 30 lakh rupees.
Mm.
Most likely, the rider is going to feel bad that I waited 6 to 9 months for the bike, and now the bike is out of my reach. I wasted my time. So what we do, we try to give a tentative pricing so that the rider can take a much better decision. That will the price is 30 lakh rupee. I know as of today this is probably 5 lakh rupee beyond my budget, but I love this bike so much that now I have a window of 9 months to plan for the additional 5 lakh rupees.
Mm.
So that makes our job slightly easier at the time of the real sales process, because then it's not a shock to the prospective rider that I need to shell out 5, 7, 10 lakh rupee more than whatever I had thought of. Because see what happens, prices are consisting of very many situations, including the R&D input which goes into the bike, the actual material cost, the shipment cost, the inflationary cost. There are so many things into the pricing of a bike. So if I am saying that the tentative price would be X rupees for the bike which shall be launched, let us say in the month of October. So on first, second, third of January, whenever the media report was there, uh, We gave the price of the bike which was supposed to be launched by October, right? So I do not know what exactly the inflation would be by October. So what we do, we calculated, we gave a tentative price, and now it also becomes binding on us to honor those prices. Even if let us say the inflation goes, I cannot say that now my 70 lakh bike will cost you 80 lakh rupee. So in a way, we are trying to put Ducati also in a way that if we have committed something to our riders, we will stick to that commitment. And we also give a tool to our riders that if you are planning to buy something, then you have a much better data point available to you for making or taking your decision, so that at the time of the actual delivery of the bike, there are no root shocks. So it
Hmm.
works both ways, and I think it has been appreciated very very well by the riders, the media community, everyone in the industry, because this is something which is definitely not available, and this has helped lot many of them in taking correct decisions.
Awesome. I think the last bit that I want to talk about, people, is the EV space, and I want to understand, because you have been an automobile veteran. I want to understand how you look at the EV space, and how does also Ducati look at the EV space. The EV space has started booming like crazy. There are a lot of startups. There are a lot of large companies that have started building in EV. What's your perspective on it?
See, electric vehicles are definitely a very important pillar as of today. None of the companies can ignore EVs, or we cannot say that we will not be into EVs. However, for a company like us, I understand that technology is still not there to be full-fledged into the EV space for a mass consumption. In fact, Ducati is one of those companies which have actually made electric vehicles. So as of today, in the Moto E, we are the single supplier for the electric bikes. So you can understand Ducati has definitely made a bike which is well up and running on the racetrack. But then, as I said, uh, as I love to say that we have more tech per square inch, then it means we have a very lesser square inch available as well for us. And in that very small space, we cannot have very big bulky batteries. As of today, the uh, energy densities of the batteries, they are not as such to support our bigger engines.
Hmm.
Even if I make an EV for the public uses, probably the bike may not run for very huge number of kilometers before the recharging is needed. Then it will take away the fun, because when we ride, probably we ride for 100, 200, 500 kilometers in a row. And as of today, I don't think, in my view, the battery tech is available as such to support our bigger engines. But I'm
Hmm.
sure the way engineers are working uh, within the industry, within the auto industry, or even outside the auto industry, but within the, let us say, chemistry kind of perspective, I'm sure the good work is being done, and in near future we shall be having such technology either through batteries or through any other source, wherein we can have alternate engines. So as of today, IC engines are our mainstay. As I foresee, they shall be there in next couple of years. But yes, as also I say that we are an engineering company, so we never say no to anything. We are open to all kinds of soft technology, whatever the better way comes to us, because we are a very very responsible company. So we definitely care for our environment. We definitely care for the uh, much touted and the famous carbon footprint. So we keep track of all these things, and I'm sure Ducati shall never be found wanting on any of these steps. So whatever shall be the best tech available at any given moment of time, Ducati shall definitely love to follow them and make bikes accordingly.
I think that's it, Bipul. That's all the time we had, and thank you for making it here. I just want to quickly understand that you
Thank
are
you.
very active on Twitter, like you mentioned. What would be the best way for our
No,
audience to
I'm not
follow
very
you and
active
reach
on
out to you?
Twitter, but I'm definitely very active on LinkedIn.
Awesome, it's awesome. So I believe LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to you and follow you. Right. Thanks, Bipul.
True.
Thanks,
Thank
Bipul, for
you. Thanks
coming
for
to
the
the show.
time. Take care. Bye bye.
If you enjoyed this, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe and share your thoughts, reviews and the guests you want. एंड आपको हमारे कम्युनिटी के लिए लिंक्स मिल जाएंगे नोट्स में. यू शुड ज्वाइन फॉर ब्रिलियंट नेटवर्किंग एंड पार्टिसिपेट इन द अपकमिंग इवेंट्स एंड फॉर कनेक्टिंग विद द पॉडकास्ट गेस्ट. दोबारा मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट डिस्कशन.